I guess, like a story time about me and my life. So get your popcorn, get your snacks, because this one's going to be a long one. And most likely an emotional one. Not for me personally, but maybe for other people. And I also do want to stress out this could be a trigger warning. There is some stuff that has happened to me in my life. So if you are sensitive to some things, please be mindful this might not be for you. But I want everyone to know this doesn't hurt me talking about it. And I am old enough to talk about it, and I understand it, and I'm okay with it, and I'm okay. So just a bit of a trigger warning out there. So I guess we'll start on March the 4th, 1997. I was born. I was born in Bendigo. I weighed 9 pounds 4 and I think 4. I think I was 9 pounds 4 and a half. My brother was 9 pounds 4. So I'm just gonna say I was 9 pounds 4 and a half. So I was a fat fucking baby. Obviously I don't remember much from there. Growing up as a child, as I remember from early ages, you know, normal, happy childhood until I got to the age of, I think, roughly 5. This is where I get sensitive. So I was sexually assaulted by a family member, and that went on for a few years. I think no more than 2 years, I think. A lot of stuff is not clear. I haven't really read much of my paperwork. I really don't want to, because it does bring up a lot of bad memories and it just hurts reading it. So I'm not 100% clear on like dates and how long it lasted, but I know it lasted a while. And I remember a few encounters of it happening, and I remember going to my mum and dad one night and saying that happened, and then I was taken to the police to file a report. Not much went on from the report. I was very young, and they pretty much said it was my voice against a person's voice, which was a teenager / adult. Like, who are they gonna listen to? Obviously the person who was a teenager / adult and not a kid. Pretty much they were saying I can make up stories and my imagination is running wild. That is what pretty much the police said to me, and to my parents. So we were living in Bendigo at the time, and I remember my mum and dad telling me stories that like people would egg our house and abuse my mum and dad for me telling up lies about this person doing it to me. So we had to move to Queensland. So we moved to Queensland with the 4 of us. And I remember starting, I don't know if it was kindergarten, kinder school, primary, no, it wasn't primary school. Like, it was some fucking daycare thing. And I remember just not wanting to go. I would scream when my dad was taking me there. I remember one time he took me there. I got inside. The teachers were trying to distract me while my dad was walking away, and I was like, no, that's not gonna work. I remember just running out, crying and screaming, and I literally run to him. Because I don't know. I honestly don't know why I didn't like it there, but I obviously was going through a lot of trauma. So, you know, a lot of things were just fucked up in my head pretty much. So fast forward, as I said, like along this line, like I'm still very young in age, so I don't remember everything that happened every single day or every month or every year. I only remember bits and blobs. Fast forward to when we moved back to Victoria, which I don't even know how old I was, but I remember I was old enough to sort of remember. We moved back to Victoria and I started primary school. And I remember I was so far behind in primary school. The teacher didn't think I'd really catch up, but I did, because I got told so much that I wouldn't be able to catch up, like on reading and writing. Like my reading was like so bad. Like I was so far behind. So I got told like I wouldn't be able to catch up. And you know what I did? I sat there and I would read. And you know what? It became a passion. I love reading books now, and I did eventually catch up. And I remember my teacher was so proud of me. He helped me a lot. Shout out to Mr. Vernon. Whoop, whoop. Represent. He was amazing. He helped me more than I think any of the kids. He saw and obviously knew what I went through, and he dedicated his time to help me, which I will always thank him for that so much, because he was the one that helped me the most in school that no one else wanted to give me a go. So primary school was rough for me. Primary school was pretty intense. I had some bullies. I got my period at the age of fucking 10, I think. 9, 10. I was very, very, very young. Very, 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 very young. So I remember getting my period and obviously growing boobs, which then led to me wearing like a bralette, as people would know them, like sport trainers. Like they're just a bralette. They've got no wire in them, so it's super comfortable to start off when you first start off with trying to try on bras. So what is going on with my hair tie? I was on them, and I remember my mum was like, all right, you gotta wear your bra, when I was going to school, and I was like, are you fucking serious? And our school uniform was a white top. So, pretty fucking see-through if you've got fucking boobs. But I didn't like how they felt, and it was so uncomfortable. So I remember going to school, going into the toilet and taking it off, because I was like, because I wasn't used to it. I felt gross, and I felt like I needed to take a shower. Like, I felt like I was gonna be sick. It's like this disgusting, dirty feeling. If anyone knows that feeling, you know how bad it is. And then I remember like getting a couple of months into it, I started getting used to wearing a bra. So then I would wear it all the time. To the point where in sport, when you had to get changed in front of fucking everyone, well, all the girls, no the boys, just the girls, you know, the girls would pick on me because they're like, oh, you're wearing a bra. Ew, you're going through puberty. And I would get picked on so fucking much for going through puberty and growing boobs. And now I look back at it and be like, you girls are just fucking jealous. And it's funny because I messaged them people that were bullying me a few years ago, and they don't remember me the slightest. And they don't remember bullying me the slightest. Yet they had such a fucking massive impact on me, and I fucking remember them so fucking much. Because they made me feel so disgusting about being a fucking woman. It was disgusting. And I will forever hate them for it. So, anyway, primary school was pretty shit. I got bullied a lot. And I was pretty much the outcast. Like, I was never in the popular group. I was just a nobody. Until I found a friend, Brooke. We connected pretty well. Our birthdays are a day after each other, so we connected really well, and she was an outcast as well, and we were like, fuck it, well, let's, be friends. So we were friends for years, and still to this day, we do talk on and off, but not as much as, we used to. But, primary school, yeah, it wasn't the best, but we go to high school. So I had moved, so in between primary school, I should have said that, in between primary school from, I think it was, grade 5 to grade 6, I had moved. So I think I finished grade 5 and then I moved to a different city. So I started grade 6 at another primary school, which I still got fucking bullied. Nothing fucking new there. But it was a good school, and I made a lot of friends. And some of them I still do talk to here and there. But starting high school, that's when shit got real. So let's skip to year 7. First day of year 7 was horrendous. Catching 3 buses. Oh my god, my mind was all over the joint. I remember year 7 to be pretty average. I really just stuck to myself. That's the kind of person I am. I just stick to myself. I don't want to be with anyone. Because I don't like being in drama. I don't like getting in fights. I don't like losing friends. So I like to just stick to myself. But I did eventually make some friends in year 7. I got into a dance class, and dance was my life. I love dancing. Not that I'm the best at it, especially when I've gained a little bit of weight now. It's not the easiest to dance. But dance was my life back then. And I remember getting my first boyfriend. And, well, that was great. So, my first boyfriend, I'm not going to mention any names just in case they don't want me to, and I'm not going to be a snitch. But my first boyfriend, I was the age of 13. Got my first boyfriend at the age of 13. So, we pretty much connected straight away. I took interest in him first. He was on my bus. And I found him. Wait, no. He found me. But I remember seeing him on my bus, but he found me on Facebook and added me. Anyway, we started talking and then we got into a relationship. At the start, it was a bit awkward. Like, we weren't sitting next to each other on the bus. We would only text and talk to each other online, but in person it was very awkward. Like, we didn't talk to each other. We didn't even really look at each other until I remember on one bus trip, a bunch of friends were like, no, you're fucking sitting together and you're fucking talking. And they literally pushed us together. And yeah, we did. We talked, and I guess that's how it all started. And we dated for 3.5 years. My longest relationship, not now because I already passed that with Hayden, but my longest relationship back in the past. So we were together for 3.5 years. So a very, very long time. I lost my virginity to him. He was my first love. He was my first everything, except for in the bum, because that's Hayden. But we'll get back to that. Sorry if you're watching, Mum. Soz. But yeah, so, and sorry for anyone who actually is watching that is family. I'm so sorry. I should put in the description. I could have said in the, don't watch if you're family. Do not watch. You don't want to hear this. Right. So, yeah, so we were together for 3.5 years. Everything was, great. We fell in love up until my nan passed away. That was hard. So yeah, when my nan passed away, that was really, really hard for me and my whole family. But I think the worst thing about it is that we didn't get a lot of time to spend with her when she was alive. So when she passed away, it was so hard because we only just started to get to know her, and she was taken away from us at a very short time of knowing her. And from that day forward, when she passed away, I changed for the worst. I didn't care about anyone. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care what my actions did, what they meant. I just didn't care. I then fell into a deep depression from a lot of things. I think from me being traumatized as a kid to my nan passing away to everything in between, it was hard. She was the first family member that I've lost that I had really gotten to know, and it hit me a lot harder than I think a lot of people, not, including my dad and all that, but I think at such a young age, I was hit pretty hard. So my relationship with my first boyfriend started to deteriorate. I fell out of love with him. I didn't want to be in a relationship, but he pretty much didn't want me to leave. So when I would break up with him, he would message my parents or come around, and my parents would be like, you guys will work it out, like, don't be stupid, don't leave him. I felt bad because I didn't want to upset him, I didn't want to upset my parents, so I stayed with him, even though I didn't want to, because I didn't want to be with anyone. I think my nan passing away hit a lot of emotions for me, and I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't want to have any ties to anyone. I just wanted to be by myself. And I wasn't allowed to have that. So I stayed with him as long as I could. I tried to work things out. Like, I was kept trying to tell myself, like, you're going through something, Nina, you're gonna work it out. You just gotta get yourself together, and then everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. I kept telling myself that. So, to try and, which, please do not do this, because this is so fucking wrong. But you learn your mistakes as you fucking get older. So, as a way for me to try and be like, no, I do love this guy, I got a tattoo of his initials with the Chinese symbol of love, and so did he. It was like a couple's matching tattoo, and so did he. He didn't take it very well, doing a tattoo. Yeah, he didn't. I think it was pretty painful for him. For me, it was easy, and things were starting to look a little bit better. I was feeling okay, and I was on antidepressants, and I was feeling somewhat just okay. Not the best, but just okay. And I don't know, there was just something, I did a lot of bad things. I cheated on him. I think I got to the point where I just did not want to be in that relationship, and no matter what I tried to do, I tried to break it off. People kept telling me, no, just stay with him. And I felt bad because I felt bad for upsetting people. And that's my major thing. When I upset someone, I feel bad and I just take it back. And that's what happened. Until one night, things happened and I cheated. And I will always regret my actions. Always. And to this day, I still regret my actions, and I wish I could change what I did in the past. But I can't. And I just gotta live from my mistakes. So, I did cheat. Not that I'm proud of it. And not that I have any excuse, but the time I cheated was me just breaking out and saying, I'm done. I'm just done with you. I'm done with everything, and I want to move on. And I got to move on, and I found my next boyfriend. So, my next boyfriend was pretty much a rebound. I have this thing, it's great, I love it, where I can't be alone. I can't handle it. I constantly need someone to love me. Which is hard. Because I want to be independent, but I can't. Because I need someone to tell me they love me. I need someone to tell me that I'm worth living for, and I'm worth everything to them. So, I got my next boyfriend, which was such a regretful decision. But anyway, I fell in love with this guy, met him online, went to Melbourne, without my parents' permission. They didn't know I was leaving. I just kind of left, and then I got a phone call on the train, and I told them where I was going, and police were involved. I shouldn't have done what I did, but I did do it. I put my parents through a lot of stress and heartache, but, no excuses, but I wasn't in the right headspace. And I go to Melbourne, I meet this guy, and he was, the guy that I was talking to, and all this stuff, and we were at a hotel, and we chatted, we talked, we got to know each other, we went out for tea. Anyway, the next day, I have to go home, and pretty much me and this guy were in a relationship. Straight away. And I do have to say, I have never been single since I was 13. Which is so fucking weird to say. But pretty much after one boyfriend, after the other. And it's my first two boyfriends, like from my first boyfriend to my rebound, which was my second boyfriend, there was no gap. But between my second boyfriend to Hayden, there was a little bit of a gap, maybe like a week, but not that much. But anyway, I was with this guy for about a year and 3 months. There was a lot of up and downs. I moved to Geelong into his mum's house, and his mum was a fucking bitch, and she fucking hated me. She thought I was disgusting because I had piercings. Yeah, she hated me. She eventually kicked me out. I've been kicked out a lot. That's another part I kind of forgot. Like, I was kicked out of home because of what I did. And I was forced to live into a caravan park. But anyway, there's lots of things I may miss, but I may backtrack back into it. But I was kicked out of her house, went to go live in a caravan park, and then my boyfriend came with me and lived with me in this caravan park. We eventually got our house. We lived with a housemate. She was great until pretty much she didn't tell the real estate that she was having someone else live with them, aka us. So we got kicked out, even though we didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, she didn't tell the real estate. So the real estate was like, well, no, sorry, you need to kick them out. So we got kicked out. Which then led us to live with my mum and dad, which was really hard because my mum and dad didn't accept my new boyfriend whatsoever. And I didn't understand why at that time, but obviously I do now. Then we got our house together. We started renting a house together in Mooroopna. So we were living there and things were going okay. And then I think I finally realized that I wasn't in love with him and that he was a rebound, and I just wanted to be by myself. Like, I wanted to be out of this relationship and I just wanted to be me. And he was very controlling. I was going through a lot emotionally still. I wasn't in the right headspace a lot of the times. I just don't think we were obviously a right match for each other. We were always fighting constantly. There was just no love there. But I think we both knew that, but we just stayed. Until one night we were talking about us being together while I was cooking tea, and we both agreed that it's just not gonna work. So it was a mutual agreement, and we were like, all right, let's just break up. He was going to move back to Geelong, and I was going to stay there. And then I remember telling my mum and dad that we were talking about breaking up and all that, and they said that I could sleep over at their house if we needed space. And I said that would be great. So I went to their house because they were out camping. So I went to their house and slept the night there. Came back to my old house, like to my house where me and my ex were living. And we were in separate beds. Like, he was sleeping on the couch and I was just sleeping in our room. And as I said, like, he was planning to move back to Geelong. And we were just always talking on and off whether or not this was the right decision. And that happened for a week. And we weren't sleeping together. Like, we said we were we were not together. And in that fucking week, I was on Facebook, scrolling through Facebook, and this is how my other video went, where I met Hayden through Facebook. I saw a picture of him, added him, met up with him, and had him as my boyfriend. And then my ex claimed that we were still together. And I was like, no, that's a fucking lie. We broke up a week ago. Don't start this. He ended up cancelling my phone plan, and my parents were on his side because they were like, you're just jumping from a boyfriend to a boyfriend to a boyfriend, which I can understand how they see it in my eyes. But as I said, you know, no one knows what happens behind closed doors. No one knows what happens when you're physically with me and my ex. They didn't see what actually happened. They didn't see my actual conversation with him about breaking up. He pretty much twisted their mind, and made me out the fucking bad person when we had broken up. Mutual agreement. So my parents weren't happy that I had moved on to another guy. At that time I was in Ballarat, and I stayed here for about a week. And my partner was moving back, well, my ex was moving back to Geelong. And he was moving out of the house, and I got asked to move into Hayden and his mum's house. So we ended up getting rid of that house, told the landlord, and he was okay with it. Fast forward to me and Hayden moving in together. So I lived with his mum for about, I think it was like 8-9 months. I can't remember exactly, but it was a few months, and everything was great with me and Hayden. Like, we fell in love so quickly. Everything was just right. And then we got our own house. Not our own house, but we rented our own house for the first time together. And that was great. We got dogs, we got Mia, then we got Zento, and then we got Violet. Violet is a husky that we had. And then our landlord was saying that he was subdividing our house. So which meant our backyard was being, like, there was going to be a house built into our backyard. And that we were going to lose a lot of room and space, and that we weren't allowed to have a husky anymore, that we would have to downgrade. Anyway, some shit went on, and we ended up moving. We moved into another house, which was really, really expensive, and we couldn't afford it, but we literally had only a few days to move before we, like, got kicked out, so we just took it. We ended up falling behind rent, and yeah, we got kicked out. Well, we didn't get kicked out exactly. We ended up moving because it was just too much. Then we moved to Narina, which is a house that we stayed at for nearly 2 fucking years, I think. Yeah, nearly 2 years. And the fucking landlords were fucking assholes. They wouldn't fix anything in the house. The sewage was fucking up. The sewage was dug up. They wouldn't fix the front yard. The house was just a mess. Then, you know, Hayden proposed to me, and I was going back into a really deep depression and anxiety. I think a lot to do with just personal shit, which I'm not mentioning, and just the house in general. I didn't love the house, so we decided to move. Again, we've moved quite a lot. This is our fourth house. Hopefully, not our, like, hopefully we can stay here for a little bit, before we can buy our own house. But we moved here, and we've been living here for a few months now, and it is perfect, except for all the spiders I get. Spiders aren't great. Don't love the spiders. But yeah, we've been living here for a few months, and we're hoping to buy a house eventually in the near future. And hopefully this year, in October the 26th, we're getting married. I'm going to fill out paperwork today to get the date set, and organize some stuff. But I think it's like 8 months away, which is fucking crazy, because I feel like I haven't got anything prepared and done. But that's where we're at now. So yeah, that's sort of like a little nutshell of about me and my life. There is a few things I have missed, but you know, they're things that I don't particularly want to talk about because it's not my place, and also it's not really about me. You know, it's just about family. But as I said, it's just me. So yeah, that's it. I've gone through a lot in my life. A lot of heartache, a lot of trauma, a lot of not knowing who I am, identity issues, just a lot of issues. But I can now say I know who I am. I know who I'm meant to be with, aka my love of my life, Hayden. And I know what I want to do with my life. So I'm on the right track now. It took me a little bit to get onto the right track, but I'm finally here, and we're finally taking a journey to getting pregnant. That is another story time. I'll do a little quick recap. I'm finally seeing a doctor about my infertility issues, why we haven't been able to conceive in the last 2 years. So when I get the test results for that on Saturday/Sunday, I will have to update everyone every step of the way. about what's going on. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, because that one's probably going to come out in the next few days, depending on what the results are and all of that. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I don't know, comment down pizza down below, just pizza. I want people to comment pizza, and then I know you made it to the end. Alright, bye.